Hey, what's up? It is your guy, Mark my words, coming back at you with another video on fatherhood, man. Gotta talk about some things that happen in fatherhood. Specifically today, we're gonna speak about having realistic expectations with your young athlete, right? Having realistic expectations with your young athlete. What are some of the things that can happen as they're young, and some of the things you can expect. Now, again, we're just talking about young athletes, so we're talking about maybe the ages of 6 to 12, 6 to 13, all right? So if you find any of the information in this video anywhere near important to you or valuable, how about you share the episode with somebody after you hit the like button, all right? When you hit the like button, that lets me know that you appreciate the info I'm putting out. And when you share the episode, bro, that gives somebody else the information as well. So 2 clicks of a button, bro, you can help 2 people out, all right? Now, also, too, I will ask you, always comment in the comment section, bro. Share some methods that you've used or things that you thought you could use that maybe didn't work, or things you're looking forward to while you have your young kids. Some of you guys have 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, you know what I mean? So you're just getting started on this journey. And it's a beautiful one, you know, so to speak. So, you know, be encouraged, man. Like this, you know, this fatherhood thing, it is not perfect, as I've said before, but it is rewarding. You know, there will be a lot of very, very small rewards that will come in a daily dose, man, that you can't plan for. And you cannot go buy this type of fulfillment anywhere else. That's the one thing I can say about being a father, bro. The connection that you have with your kids and the memories built, man, the fulfilling moments, you cannot go buy them anywhere. You cannot buy them anywhere, bro. And no amount of money you have produces them as well. They're just things that come, you know what I mean? So as far as your young athletes are concerned, right? So a lot of us guys, especially our boys, we want them to be athletes, man. So, you know, the greatest joy, one of the greatest joys in life is having a boy and he's an athlete and he's good at a sport, right? Because whether you were a good athlete or not, you want your kid to be that, right? Some of us can get carried away with it, you know, at times. We can expect them to be excellent at something that we weren't even proficient at, you know. So sometimes we'll get caught up in unrealistic expectations, but it's always understandable because there's not a man alive, bro, that wouldn't like to see their kid excel physically at something, okay? Obviously, we all want intelligent kids and we want kids to be successful in other areas as well. But being physically excelling in a physical manner is always something that a dad will be proud of, okay? So I'm just gonna give you a couple things that you can look for as they're young, so that you can be prepared for it and that it doesn't disappoint you too much as time moves forward, right? So number 1, between the ages of 6 and 12, bro, they change drastically about 3 to 4 times. Their interests change drastically. At 6 years old, they're telling you they want to be a soccer player. That's what they want to be. By 8, 9 years old, they realize they're great at basketball. Now they want to play basketball. By the age of 12, bro, now they want to play football. Now, they could have been playing all these sports simultaneously, but they have a heavy interest normally in one over all of them, right? If you ask them, if you could go pro in either of these sports, what would you play? They normally have a pick, right? So don't get caught up too much in, oh, my kid's 6, he wants to be a quarterback, that's what we're doing. Well, bro, because it could change. And not only could his position change in football, but he could change, his interests could just change, and he could just be a different kid a year from now. And now his interests change and he wants to play baseball, bro, and now he's a pitcher. You know what I mean? Which, nothing's wrong with that. So you have to understand, you have to be prepared, especially mentally and emotionally, that these things could change for you. And so you can't get too down on yourself and get too distraught, right? Because change is good. He wants to change. Boom. Let's go with the flow, right? You want him to be consistent and work hard and be a good teammate and be nice. You know what I mean? Play hard, be nice. But, bro, we got to embrace the change when it comes. So just be ready that between those ages, bro, 6 and 12, I mean, we're talking some 6-year-olds, bro, they're still watching cartoons. By 12 years old, they're starting to like girls. How can you expect his interest to stay the same when it comes to sports? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, bro. So, also, during this phase, right, during this time, expect, you cannot determine the teams he's going to be on, right? So what we'd love for them to do is for them to win from the ages of 6 to 12 and never lose a game, right? We want them to be winners, and rightfully so. Nobody wants their kid to be a loser, bro. So you take them and sign them up for the best organizations or the best teams or whoever you think is the best fit for your kid. And again, nothing's wrong with that. What you don't want to do is keep flip-flopping teams, bro, for years and years and years, and your kid never gets comfortable because you're chasing titles. Because honestly, bro, they don't learn the true meaning of being an athlete. And honestly, one of the biggest, to me, one of the biggest pluses to being an athlete, bro, is your loyalty, right? You don't have to stay somewhere 10 years, but can you at least be loyal to the guys that you're playing beside? Because when you're playing beside a guy and you don't know if he really wants to be there or if he really likes the organization or if he likes the school, the energy's off, bro, and you can always tell. So be okay with the organization that you set him up with if they have good coaches, if they have parental support, and if they're teaching your kid the game, bro. Be okay with them staying. You flip-flopping teams all the time, man. I'm telling you, it sets a bad precedent for your son. So don't be that guy. Don't be that guy that takes your kid to play for 18 different teams in the same sport. It rarely ever works out really well, bro. I'm telling you. One move you make, okay, cool. 6 years, I get it, right? You make one move, that organization isn't what you thought it was. But if we're talking your third or fourth organization, bro, the problem might be you. Or the problem might be your son's just not that talented, and you need to let him play with who he's playing with, all right? So, also, from 6 to 12, bro, from 6 to 12, another thing you are not going to be able to predict is the coaching. The coaching, right? And as a father, bro, we can drive ourselves crazy being too worried about the coaching, okay? Bro, if somebody is not verbally abusing your kid, and if they are at least showing up every day, you gotta let your kid fight through. You gotta let your kid fight through. Listen, I'm speaking from experience, bro. I got 2 older boys, 2 younger kids, right? Younger kids are 6 and 5. Learned a lot with the older kids because, you know, times were different. You know, this is we're talking early 2000s. And so they had to go through, they had bad coaches, bro. They had losing seasons, right? Most of what determined what type of athlete they turned out to be was their home environment and what I was instilling in those kids, right? So the coaches, yes, they might have a bad coach for a season. They might have a bad coach for 2 seasons. But if that kid is taught consistency by you, if that kid is taught to be a good teammate by you, if that kid is taught to be a good loser, when he loses, he shakes hands and he moves on. If he's taught those things by you, bro, he's going to come out of the situation even better when he has a bad coach because he'll be ready for the next situation. He'll be ready for the next time there's a losing season because it will be losing season, bro. There are college athletes right now who win a national championship and they go to the worst team in the pros. How are they able to handle that if at 6, 7, 8, 12, 13, 14 years old, their dad is always going to war with the coaches because the coaches aren't good enough? So, bro, listen to me. Save yourself some time, some stress, some anguish. Let the coaches do their job, man. Let the coaches do their job. Please let the coaches do their job. They're out there for a reason, bro. And yes, a lot of the coaches between the ages of 6 and 12, they will have a kid on the team. Again, get used to people having motives, bro. Because when he's in college or he's in high school, they're then getting paid to coach. So that's a different motive. You understand what I mean? So there's always going to be a motive in place. But what you have to concentrate on, is the development of your child. And if your child is being developed correctly, and most of that's going to come from you and your family, bro, a coach can't change him from a good athlete to a bad athlete. That has never happened. I never spoke to a guy and he said, I was great at basketball, baseball, football. And then I ran into this one coach and all of a sudden I hated the game and I never played again. That's not normally what happens, bro. That's not normally what happens. You know what I mean? So we got to let our kids fight through the adversity. So, bro, listen to me. You're never going to be able to pick the coaches for your kid. All right? So get over that. Just get over it. Let your kid learn how to deal with different personalities and fight through adversity. Okay? Also, you will not be able to determine what your kid is interested in from the ages of 6 to 12. You will not. Their interests will change. The values and characteristics that you put in them should not change. But their interests will change. He might love pitching right now, bro, and he might want to be a quarterback next year. And then the next year after that, he wants to be a basketball player or play hockey. That's what happens. Okay? Also, and third, but not finally, bro, because there's a lot of aspects to this. But you cannot determine how successful the teams will be that your child plays on, bro. And as much as you think it matters, it doesn't at the end of the day. It's nice to be a winner and to expect to win, okay? So I had a kid who won a lot in football, and he got used to winning, right? But he was with a great group of kids and great coaches. And so, like, it was the whole ecosystem. It wasn't just he won a bunch of games. You understand what I mean? So, because had he won a bunch of games from the ages of 6 to 12, and then he went to an organization that a bunch of kids didn't win, or this high school had coaches that weren't used to winning and whatnot, it wouldn't have mattered, bro. It's about him, right? It's about the development. It's about, okay, I go out here, I'm expecting to win, but if we lose, all right, we're back to the drawing board on Monday. You don't know what your kid's record is going to be in every sport. Don't team hop and go to every new team that pops up just because you want your kid to win every single game. They got to lose some games, bro. Now listen to me. As a father, man, you might be going through a situation like this, and you might have a scenario, right, that you think is coming up. You're trying to choose between a couple teams, or you have a coach that you don't like that much, or your child's leaning towards one sport and you want to, push them to another. You might have a situation, bro, that you just might need me to make a video about and see what everybody else thinks, right? Because that's the beauty of technology right now, is that you can email me, coachmark22@gmail.com. I can put your story up anonymously and do a video on it, bro, and all the people in the comments can then give you advice. See how that works? That's a beautiful thing, right? So email me if you are that guy. Again, Coach Mark with a C, 22@gmail.com. And if you are that guy and you are far beyond the point of just, hey, I need some advice on a video, and you need some one-on-one attention because things aren't going the way you want them to, or, bro, you might just be a new dad and you're entering into this realm, but you got 2 or 3 boys and you want to do this the right way, and you might just need somebody to mentor you in that area a bit. We might need to establish a little bit of a relationship, bro. And if that's the case, go down in the description, book a call with me. We'll get on a Zoom. We'll see if we're a right fit for each other, and that we might need to establish a relationship and have an ongoing, whether it be once every 2 weeks, once a month, once every 6 weeks, that we just talk about the plan that's going forward, bro, because I didn't really have anybody to mentor me or show me how to navigate. I had to learn on my own. And although it was a pleasurable experience, I wish I'd have had somebody to kind of help me through some of the tougher times. You know what I mean? So if that's the case, bro, go in the description, book a call with me. We'll get on the line and we'll talk about it, all right? So I always say share this episode with somebody, man. There are so many dads out here. There are so many guys out here that need information and they need help, right? And we don't always do it for each other. So be a friend, be a cousin, be a coworker, be a neighbor. Send this episode to somebody you love, bro. All right. Now, as we do around this time, gotta say peace. But guess what? I'll be coming back with another one on fatherhood. You know how we get down, because guys need help being fathers, and we are here to be the best fathers we can at all times. May not always work out, right? But why not try? What's the point of being a father if you're not going to be the best one you can? That's how I look at it. All right. So I appreciate you for tuning in with your boy, man, today. It's Marc my words. I'll get back with you on the flip side, homie.